Ladies and gentlemen, you're very welcome to Let's Talk Tax. If you've been following us all through this season, we've been trying to establish a pattern. That is, first of all, to take a look at what the activity of the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service was in 2016. After we established what they did and the successes they recorded, we went onto the streets to ask what you think they did and they achieved, and then went on to find out what the books say about paying taxes. By the books, I mean the holy books, the Quran, the Bible. We had two scholars who came into the house to talk to us on the issue of taxes, according to what the books say about them. That is, what does the Bible say about paying taxes? What does the Quran say about paying taxes? Both of our scholars established from scriptures the fact that all of the prophets and all of the books encourage everyone to pay taxes. So if you are indeed a believer, then I imagine you should be looking for the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service office to pay your taxes. That is, if you're not already doing it. But then, if you remember last week, our scholars ended that episode on a note of caution to the Kwara State government and to the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service, saying that they would continue to encourage their followers and their members to pay taxes. But then, the responsibility it now entrusts on the government and the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service is that they judiciously and responsibly use these taxes. And to respond to that, we have with us today someone who would not only be able to answer your questions, but put your hearts at rest, to confirm and reaffirm the fact that the Kwara State government is committed to putting your taxes to good use. I'm talking about a personality who has worn several caps, a one-time director of the Center for Entrepreneurship at the Kwara State University, and now, maybe I'll leave you to guess. We'll take a quick break, and when I'm back, I'll introduce to you who the guest is on the program today. Don't go away.
Good people of Kwara State, our government is working hard to make life better for all of us by providing infrastructures in all sectors: roads, transportation, health, and many more.
Government can and will do more if we all pay our taxes.
Yes, especially the land and property tax.
This will enable government to provide social services.
We have the responsibility to deduct taxes from our employees and remit accordingly.
So if you see Kwara State Internal Revenue Service people for your area, no run or fight them. Government don't do better before. Them go continue to do better for us.
Payment of taxes is very simple. Make sure you collect a receipt for all payments. For continued progress in Kwara, play your part, pay your tax.
You're very welcome to the program again, and before we went on break, I was just about introducing to you who we're bringing to the program today. But then I must say, before we go on, that we really appreciate all of you who watch us week in, week out. We thank you very much for the feedback we get from you. It amazes me when we hear a lot of glowing remarks, and it is all credit to you. As long as you keep playing your part by paying your taxes, we'll keep coming here and ensuring that the government answers every question you might have. So, back to the agenda of today. We have with us to answer the questions you might have concerning taxes in Kwara State, no less a personality than the executive chairman of the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service. I'm talking about Dr. Muritala Awodu. He will be answering questions as regards taxes, its payment, the collection process, and all that, and to what use particularly they put these taxes here in Kwara State. And if you are wondering what the plans are for the year 2017, in 2016 you saw the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service on the streets distributing bags, cleaning up the roads, fixing gutters and stuff like that. Well, this year they still have a very, very wonderful package for the people of Kwara. And well, we're about to find out what that is in this episode of Let's Talk Tax. So we're going to go right to his interview now, enjoy that interview, and right after it, we'll be back in the studio to tidy up the program. Don't go away.
...2016 was our first year of operation, and knowing fully well where we are coming from, that we took over in 2015, and the records of 2015 obviously was abysmally low, which was the record of the past board of internal revenue. 7.2 billion was what was realized throughout the year 2015, which was an average of 600 million monthly or thereabout. So that was not a too good record for Kwara State, knowing fully well that before 2015, Kwara State was able to do about 11 billion in 2014. So we took over, and using that 2015 figures as the benchmark, we started 2016 with all the changes that the government had made possible through the new law that brought about new people, new process, and new technology and infrastructure to run the Internal Revenue Service. We started by engaging the stakeholders appropriately to ensure that they know why we need to have the change of people, process, and technology. And this took us around all the 16 local governments of Kwara State. It's also not an easy thing when you are changing people. It's not an easy thing when you are changing process, so you have to do a lot of advocacy for people to know, what is behind the change. And it's also not easy introducing technology, particularly in this part of the world. So all that put together require that we do a lot of tax education and sensitization. All this were done in the year 2016, and the result of that change of people, process, and technology was the result of 2016 that brought about the total collection moving from the 7.2 billion to 17.4 billion. So that was something that gave us the encouragement that the change that we set out to achieve is realizable, and is something that if we continue to intensify efforts in the direction that we have chosen, we will do even better than what we did in 2016. But in 2016, we adopted a gradual approach towards actualizing our targets. So it was a step-by-step, on a quarterly basis, we review our positions. We're not too ambitious in the first 2 quarters, such that our quarterly performances vary, over the 4 quarters of the year. But be that as it may, the overall situation was that from 600 million monthly, we moved to an average 1.45 billion monthly in 2016, which is quite a good effort. Well, the target hit last year was planned and worked out. And the target set for this year obviously has been planned, and we are working it out. So the reality is that your targets are based on certain assumptions. Even when, after coming out with what you consider as your target, the government through the House and the executive may have some different opinion and make some adjustments. But the reality is that you try to look at the assumptions upon which your budget has been fixed, and those circumstances also change in the course of the year. They are not static. The environment is dynamic. So some of those assumptions, when they vary, it will also affect the possibility of realizing some of those targets or even surpassing them. But as it is right now, the target of doubling what we did in 2016 for 2017 is what we are trying to, achieve. That if we consistently work on our efforts, looking at the fact that the efforts of last year must be doubled, probably achieve 70% of the target for this year.
Good people of Kwara State, our government is working hard to make life better for all of us by providing infrastructures in all sectors: roads, transportation, health, and many more.
Government can and will do more if we all pay our taxes.
Yes, especially the land and property tax.
This will enable government to provide social services.
We have the responsibility to deduct taxes from our employees and remit accordingly.
So if you see Kwara State Internal Revenue Service people for your area, no run or fight them. Government don't they do better before. Them go continue to do better for us.
Payment of taxes is very simple. Make sure you collect a receipt for all payments. For continued progress in Kwara, play your part, pay your tax.
The plans are very simple. To continue to do what we did last year, but with more vigor and precision. Automation is key to us this year, 2017. Last year, we could not just start and automate every processes. So we roll out some automation in some areas, while we continue with manual operations in some areas, just changing the process of those manual operations. But this year we are stepping up on automation because we believe that we have to do more with less. And for you to be able to do more with less, what we call frugal innovation, you really need to concentrate on areas where you can actually improve on your processes by introducing technology. So we have taken it directorate by directorate, and we believe that once we can get an improved process, most of the leakages will be blocked, and then you will have more revenue coming into the system. Well, if you look at what we can appraise for now is just maybe the first quarter of the year, because the first month of the second quarter just ended. Our results are not out yet. We are still trying to put the figures together. But for the first quarter, January, February, March, it has come and gone. We know the results. And in the first quarter of 2017, we were able to do 6.6 billion naira, which is almost double of what we did in the first quarter of 2016. So our submission is that if we keep to this, trying to double monthly what the figures of 2016 was in 2017, we will easily at the end of 2017 will have doubled what we did in 2016. So for the first quarter, that has been achieved, because in 2016, the first quarter of 2016 ended with about 3.2 billion or thereabout. And the first quarter of 2017, we have done 6.6 billion. So that's about double of what was done last year. So if we keep to that consistently, we'll probably have at the end of the year doubled, the performance of 2016. But we know that it's not going to be as smooth as we have said. There will be some low time, and you really have to balance it up with some high time. But be that as it may, the target is, if we are able to do 70% of what the budget for 2017 is, we will have done well, considering the fact that we have to be sensitive to the environment and the times that we are, which is a recession period. The challenges are numerous, but We won't say because those challenges are there, we'll still not do what you're supposed to do. And when you look at it, generally there is a recession. And in a period of recession, it's going to affect practically everybody, both the high, the low, and the middle. It will therefore affect income in one way or the other. For instance, if salaries are not paid, then the pay as you earn will not be deducted. So it is only when salaries are paid that the pay as you earn will be deducted, and then it will be remitted to the tax authorities. So an organization or a state or a local government or a federal agency that has not been able to pay its salaries cannot pay tax from those salaries. Until they are able to pay their salaries, that's when they will be able to pay tax. You get my point? So first, the economy should be such that, and you know our state is civil service driven. So if the civil servants are paid, the tax due from their salaries definitely will come in. If the local government staff are paid, the tax due from their income will come in. If the